Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Smark Tank. I am Shannon Epstein alongside the wondrous one, Bob Black.
What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? We're living the dream. We're podcasting. We got a platform to talk that we built. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this life.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to do something a little different this week and have a conversation about steroids.
Sure.
Should they just be legal? And this is not like a wrestling conversation per se, but there is a lot of, taboo around the use of steroids. And
we're only talking about this because Brock Lesnar has had a rage moment on Raw, and it was clearly making fun of his steroids addiction.
Sure.
He loves his roids. He's a roid man.
Yeah. I mean, he's a known steroid user.
He
enjoys it. He absolutely is. He was found out on the USADA testing pool, the USADA testing pool or whatever, that he was a roid user, and WWE doesn't care about part-timers using steroids or whatever. It's not like a serious thing for them. But didn't it like shorten Eddie Guerrero's life a little bit? Like he had heart problems because of his steroid use or whatever.
I mean, you could always argue that absolutely, definitely shortened his life. Definitely had a part to play in the death of Chris Benoit.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But they were testing at that point, but they were just masking. They were using masking agents, and that's why they couldn't.
He was. I
guess that's why John Cena made that statement. Like I have. I could use masking agents if I want, and nobody would ever find out.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, no one knew that Eddie was doping.
Yeah, I mean, because he was a smaller guy.
Yeah, and he was doping, and Chris Benoit died, a year, 2 years after him?
Right.
So, if no one knew Eddie was doping, then how would anyone figure out that Chris Benoit was doping? And they were both very clearly doping.
Yeah. They weren't like Batista level big.
Yeah,
but
they weren't tall, but they were very, very stocky. And it's like, okay, you see them when they started out to where they ended up, and you're like, okay, they definitely probably did some stuff.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
I mean, and that makes sense too, because Chris Benoit was like a maniac in the gym.
He was. He loved the gym.
He loved the gym, and he just would. He was such a great worker in the ring that he would take all these unnecessary risks in every match,
sure.
And that's why there was a point when you were watching SmackDown where he kept doing the flying headbutt and just bleeding. He was killing himself.
Yeah, I know.
He was like gushing blood.
He had a lot
in the middle of the match from a move that he did to an opponent.
Yeah.
Not something an opponent did to him, but something he would do to the opponent.
Yep.
And that was just only making, matters worse for him.
Probably.
Not that I wanted to really divulge into a Chris Benoit conversation or debate, but I guess it is important to bring that up because my question, my proposition is, what if we just made it legal, like in sports? Because, we've touched on the subject that steroids are not really illegal. You can buy them.
Yeah.
You can't get medical grade steroids, but you can get them. They're available for use, apparently. And don't try this at home, kids. Please do not try this at home if you're a kid and you're listening. And
let me look it up. Let's look it up. I mean, because steroids are they're medicinal. They're a medicinal thing. That they give you when you get into accidents or to help you recover, because that's what they're there for. The abuse of steroids is where things get really ugly, and you can have real
consequences to your body. Yeah. I mean that, and that would probably be the only reason I would say that this is a terrible idea from the mind of the dark part of my mind. But at the same time, I'm thinking, well, what if we just open the floodgates and, say, all right, everybody, go ahead, break the records, just fucking do it. Right. Go nuts. Right, Like, how crazy would shit get? Like, how many records would be smashed? I mean, how strong humanity could be, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't think we should. I just want to make that very clear. I'm not stating that this is possible, because I actually think like it's a really kind of vile action when you're trying to be in a like a legit sport and you're just cheating. You're literally cheating at that point. You know, everybody's saying, you know, we're not going to do this, and then you're like, no, let me go do this because I really want to be the best. You know, I want to be the top paid. I want to be a Mark McGuire.
Yeah,
I guess, you know, like I want to smash that home run record, and I don't care how I do it. You know, but you know, I think it would be fair if everybody agreed we're going to do it, and we're going to try to make this a crazy fucking roided out game.
Sure.
You know, I think it'd be interesting. I don't think it's good. I think it's bad for the, you know, the diminishing health returns, obviously.
I mean, like I said, I'll say this. If you want to do steroids, you know, good luck and God bless. It's your body. Whatever you put into your body is your choice, unless it's someone else puts it into your body.
Right.
You know, then that's not okay. But like, if you're choosing to do steroids and you want to do steroids, God bless you. You know, go ahead. Do you think? Know all the risks, I would say, and you know, God bless. As far as like having it, just like have everyone being able to do steroids, that is a question for the athletes and the organizations that oversees the participation of their, you know, oversees the sport that they're in.
Right.
You know, and it's like, so that's the question. It's like, there's also a question of how would it affect viewership? Would people like
to watch the roided baseball league, the
baseball
RLB, the RMLB?
I mean, like, you can make the argument that people were really into it back when, like, everyone was hitting home runs, like 60, 70 home runs. But, you know, once they found out they were on roids, people were very betrayed and disappointed. People felt a certain way about it, you know. So it's like, there is a question where it's not just on the athletes, you know. It is a partially on the athletes. They definitely have to make a decision because it's their body. Yeah. I mean, at your own risk. Like, that you know what it is. Same thing with smoking. It's like, all right, well, you know, smoking is bad, so at your own risk. Here you go. But it's not just the athletes in the end. It's more people, you know. Do the fans want to watch this? Would people feel like they're actually watching a real competitive? I mean, well, here's the thing. I just watched the Netflix Things Explained documentary, and they talked about the evolution of cricket and how, you know, cricket used to last 5 days, and if it went 5 days, it was a draw. And then they were like, all right, well, this is total dog shit. Nobody likes this. Sure. Let's go to 1 day. And 1 day got really popular, the 1 day cricket, the 1 day variation. And then they were like, all right, you know what? Let's do this where you can watch this for 3 hours. We're gonna do the MLB version of cricket, and that's like popular, right? Now, the point I'm trying to make is sports is an evolution. Why shouldn't sports evolve with steroid use? You know? No, here's the thing. Like, obviously, I'm going to keep reiterating. I do not agree. I don't think that this is something that should happen at all. I'm just wondering, in the what if scenario. Like, now, with regards to pro wrestling, I don't think it's that bad to use steroids in pro wrestling because you're doing it as a vanity thing. You're not doing it to get a competitive advantage over other superstars. You're doing it to basically be the shining peacock for Vince McMahon to go, oh man, I love the Ultimate Warrior. Oh, look at Hulk Hogan. Oh my God, big shit. You know, like, he wants to look at these big dudes and be like, I could see you kicking someone's ass. So I don't think it's that bad there. Where I do think it's bad is you're going to get a Chris Benoit again eventually. Sure. Because you're going to get a guy who is doped out. He's going to have rage. He's going to have the need to perform harder. You know, try. All right, I'm not as big as Ultimate Warrior and Vince and Hulk Hogan, and I want Vince McMahon's attention. So I'm gonna try and make unnecessary risks. If I can't make it on my look, I'm gonna try to make it on my move set. Yeah. You know. Yeah. Absolutely. So that's the diminishing health return I had spoken of. So I don't think it's that bad for wrestling, but I think it's bad in UFC. You shouldn't have doped out guys fucking destroying each other, aka Brock Lesnar. I mean, there's a question of like, that's not fair. There's a question of like, if you're gonna dope, let the other guy dope. Yeah, sure, but like, there's a question of, you know, what if guys don't want to dope? That's the point I'm trying to say is that it's really not fair in UFC. Yeah, I mean, it's not fair in any competitive sport where you have...
Absolutely. No.
Yeah,
Please don't get me wrong.
I mean,
I'm really not trying to say that one guy in baseball should roid and the others. That's the point, is like if one guy's going to roid, or the general consensus amongst baseball players is that they'd rather roid, fucking at your own risk.
Yes.
At this point, So the point I'm trying to make with cricket is, like, is there an evolution in sports that needs to be discussed, like whether we should just let these fucking guys do it, Because what if a guy is not on roids and he's just as strong as the guys with roids? He doesn't want to do it, but he's just as good as the other guys.
Interesting.
All
right.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Right.
Like if everybody kind of really wants to do it, why not let them fucking go for it? Fucking.
I would, like I said, I'm not gonna fight. My thing is like this. They're
at your own risk, obviously.
It's you're not. Like I said, you're
using a half-life.
Sure,
you're gonna lose your life.
Sure, people are gonna say like I said, it's not just about you. There's also the organization, and the organization could say, "Go ahead, fine," but then you're also gonna have fans going to be like, "You're a cheater. You can't do it. You can't do it naturally. You can't do it on your own. You can't do it on your own strength. You can't do it on your own willpower." And there are guys like Brock Lesnar who have used steroids and got their asses destroyed by Cain Velasquez, who's 245.
Wait, was he on roids when he fought Velasquez?
Probably,
yeah, I would assume he was.
Probably. Come on. Yeah, like you don't just stop doing steroids if you're Brock Lesnar. You look like you're like
you want that look. You have to sell yourself.
Yeah, you're that huge. So it's like it's like. Roids
you can tell when he kind of goes off the roids too, because he loses a little bit of. He's like a little deflated.
Yeah, he gets a little bit of the mass. I mean, like like it is what it is. If it's like you're gonna like you can legalize roids in association in like associated sports or whatever, and like there have been a lot of like sports and performance enhancing drugs that were once. That are now currently considered not legal or not legal for use in athletic competition, that were once not tested for at all, and like people got away with using them. We're just using them for years. You know what I'm saying? Like these things change and they shift all the time.
Right.
But like you're gonna in the court of public opinion, you're probably gonna get like vilified for it. They're going to have people who say you're not doing it on your own. You're cheating. And, like, that's their right to say that. Because they're like, they can be like, you know what? Why don't you do it without it? This guy's doing it without it. He's winning.
Yeah.
Why can't you do it without it? Oh, you can lift 1,000 pounds. That's awesome. Could you do that without steroids?
But that's the point I'm trying to make is like, don't you want to see? Don't you kind of want to see like what kind of records we can shatter?
I'm okay
and most of them are shattered with the use of steroids.
I'm okay with it. I don't personally care. Like I'm okay with whatever. Like there's a reality that like probably in the future as our medical technology gets better, steroids is gonna play an active role in helping maintain our physical fitness and until like.
Sure.
As like if we're gonna have an expanded,
or we could use some genetics to make the body naturally produce natural steroids through designer babies and with CRISPR.
Essentially, like if we're gonna have expanded, if we're gonna like, if the human lifespan expands the way people predicted will, then like the natural production of steroids and the synthetic production of steroids will increase. Like if like if we're gonna like survive in space, like for like space travel,
you're gonna need more fat. You're gonna need more on your body to have reserves, so you don't
essentially
so you don't eat as much.
Your muscle mass is gonna need to be able to reproduce itself easier.
Yeah,
it's gonna need to be able to sustain more. You're gonna have to have better endurance because you're gonna be dealing in zero gravity a lot.
Sure.
So like all these things are. Like all this stuff, like all steroids, anabolic, human growth hormones, all that stuff, it's like it's not.
Well, I mean, everything is kind of changing because, like, with CRISPR, and maybe this is boring for some people, but if it's not, great. I'm glad I'm appeasing you. But with CRISPR, they're gonna be able to redesign your body is with, I forget if it's germline or streamline or something like that. I may even be saying it wrong, but I think it's with germline editing, you can go ahead and start to change something in your body currently. Mm-hmm. But with the other version, and I'm probably completely fucking this up, go watch the Netflix documentary about CRISPR if you want more information. That's what I would say. But you'll be able to go and for future generations have that be a genetic change.
Right.
You know, which I think they can only do from the embryo. I don't think they could do it to you existing, where they're like, all right, we're going to change your fucking DNA now as an existing person. I don't think that's possible. I think they need to do it right from the embryo, right from the form of the DNA. And then they can make it where, all right, you want a blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby, which is fucked up.
Right.
This is where it's eugenics and it's crazy shit. You can get a blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby because many generations back, someone had blonde hair, blue eyes. We'll just make that the dominant gene. That's it. Boom. You know?
Right. Yeah.
And this, you know, comes with the question of, you know, dwarfism. Like, is that a disease or is that, you know, something that is only disease because of the way other people look at dwarfism? You know what I mean? Because they could easily take out dwarfism with CRISPR. That we've discovered. You know? Eventually, when they go down the road, they'll be able to stop that.
You'll be able to stop a lot of things, yeah.
Yeah, any kind of disease, like, you know.
Possibly, yeah. So, I mean...
They can decrease the chance of cancer being involved in future generations.
Sure.
They can increase strength.
Yeah, it's gonna be a heady future. We'll see. I mean, this is all this stuff is still on the cusp of, like, really...
Yeah, no, it's relatively new, but, like, you know, this all kinds of goes part of the same topic of discussion is whether it should be okay for you to use steroids, right? Whether it should be okay for you to have a designer baby who's been, you know,
sure, we'll see,
strengthened from day one to.
I mean, I personally want to have a 7-foot tall child that can like run a 40-yard dash.
But what makes him special in a pool of other 7-foot tall?
Well, he'll be my child, or she'll be my child.
No, of course. But
she'll be my 7-foot child.
Everybody's gonna look like your 7-foot child. Everybody's gonna be as strong as your 7-foot child.
I'm cool with that, though. I'm all right with that.
I don't think I am actually.
You know why?
I don't think I'm cool with that.
You know why? Because like there are many children like mine, but this one is mine. So I'll be like, I'll be okay with it. I'll be all right with my 7 foot.
All right, Gomer Pyle.
I'll be okay with my 7-foot. My 7-foot Ubermensch, I guess. Is that like?
I'm not okay with that kind of development of the human race, actually, because it makes none of us special anymore.
I don't like the term Ubermensch because it's tied to like Nazism. But
yeah, obviously.
But you know.
But I'm trying to tell you.
What else can you really call like a genetically modified superhuman?
I don't think we should do that. I mean, China loves it. China is okay with this. China's probably going to be the one to take this on the forefront and be like, well, why would you not want to use these advantages? Because China's a very practical country. So for them, it just makes sense. It's like, well, why not give everybody a natural occurring advantage? Why not? What's the point? But I think the point is you're going to lose part of the human experience through that, you know? And I guess that the same thing goes with steroids. You're losing part of the human experience of, you know, actually finding a hero, you know? Okay, Hulk Hogan was a hero because he was this really special guy that we believed really did it on his own, and he picked up Andre on his own. But the real hero in the story is actually Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Because he is a real, truly special being, you know?
Sure.
Through a bad disease that ultimately killed him, giganticism, you know? But he was actually special. You know,
I mean, I think the flip side of the argument would be like, is what made him special his physical attributes or his humanity, like who he was as a person, and like
I think the endurance of being a giant kind of made him special because it was a part of his life. It was very hard for him.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That documentary really on HBO really revealed that it was very hard for him.
Yeah, it was definitely a part of him, you know, but like the idea that his gigantism was the defining feature of his life is on the flip side of that argument, where it's like he was special because of, you know, all these things, is like is the flip side is that he was already special. Like his giganticism is he and Andre the person was special.
Yeah.
the gigantism and all the other stuff, was secondary. So even if he wasn't a giant, even if he was Andre the Giant, he would have still been special.
Yeah,
because that's just who he was. So but
what made him special was the giganticism and the fact that it made him have to endure a lot more. Actually,
I mean, you can make that argument. I mean, like that. That's more of that's more philosophical.
Yeah, I guess
that's more of a philosophical.
We only have so much time within the podcast. I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
I produce it, so we can go as long as we want, really. But anyway, we could save it for another day. But I think going back, not losing too much traction from the steroid question is, and this is my ignorance here. What made the 1989 scandal so crazy with the WWE? Why was that so? Like, it's not like they're I guess they figured it was a real sport. In the 90s, in the 80s and 90s, and they were like, "What the fuck is going on in the WWF?"
Yeah, I mean, it was just a big, like, steroids at that point had become a big talking point, not just in
and to find out that he was just giving it to every wrestler,
like everyone was juicing. So like, it's like,
was Brett juicing? I don't feel like he was.
I have no idea.
I feel like some of them were like, "No, I'm not doing that."
Maybe. I mean, I'm not like. I don't know offhand who was. I know Hogan was juicing.
Oh yeah.
I just don't know who else was juicing.
Yeah, I just don't understand why it was such a big deal. But I guess now in hindsight, it's a big deal because they thought it was legit competition.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it. I mean, like I said again, juicing at that point.
I guess he had to kind of come out and say like, "All right, look, guys, wrestling is predetermined."
Juicing at that point was a national kind of scandal.
Yeah, but do you think he exposed the business because of the scandal?
I have no idea.
Like it was creeping up on him.
I think that was a part of it. I think that definitely didn't help.
Yeah,
I mean, it didn't help kayfabe that people were suddenly like all this stuff that was backstage was coming out. So, like, he had a choice where he could just, like, stubbornly stick to kayfabe, or he could just own it and be like, oh, yeah, this is kayfabe.
Yep.
Well,
it's like what Jerry Springer had to do that, because they were like, why are you allowing fighting on your television show?
I mean, he also had, like, you had the advent of, like, performers like Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon and other guys who were just like, I'm an actor just like any other guy on TV.
But Shawn wasn't juicing, was he?
He wasn't juicing, no.
Yeah.
But like they were like I'm an actor just like any other guy on TV. I want to get paid like an actor. I want to go home. I don't want to get into fights outside because these people confuse my character for who I am in real life. And like Shawn Michaels obviously got fucked up in real life because
because of the pain. He was on pain.
I mean, not even pain. I'm talking about like he got into like bar fights because people thought
he wanted to.
People thought that he was Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid.
You're a hot shit.
You're hot shit, and you're a shit talker and blah, 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 blah. And like
let's see what you can really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that happened with Flair. That happened with almost every wrestler.
But he got, he got
to tell you a story where they were like, had to protect kayfabe.
Yeah. And he got seriously hurt. He got seriously hurt like in that bar fight. I think that's part of something.
Wasn't Marty Jannetty there for that one?
I don't know if Marty Jannetty was there for that. I know he definitely got like to a bar fight where he got jumped.
Yeah,
basically like two guys, and they kind of kicked the crap out of him.
Yeah,
and it's like you had wrestlers who were at that point who were like, I don't want to like have to walk around and people be like, oh, you're an Undertaker. Let's see what you got.
That happens a lot, actually.
Yeah,
especially when you gain a rep for a fighter.
Yeah, and
people will come and try to challenge you and knock you off the throne, so to speak.
So he's like, you had wrestlers who were just like, I don't care about kayfabe. I don't give a fuck. I'm an actor. I'm on TV. I don't like. You had guys like who were like Bret Hart, who were like, wrestling is serious. It's a serious business and blah blah. Old
Lance
school.
Storm.
Yeah, old school.
That's Canadian though. That's a very like let's protect.
Let's
protect the biz, okay?
Yeah, like the biz is really like they were like,
Chris Benoit. Yeah.
They're like,
bless you, Jericho, kind of, but he was like a party kind of guy.
Yeah, he was more loose with the kayfabe.
Yeah.
But like you had guys who were like that, like the old guard.
Tyson Kidd even has that old guard mentality where he's like, oh, we gotta get in there and
like if we're having a feud, I can't be seen outside with you. I can't ruin the. I have to protect the
if
finish.
only Roman and Strowman.
We got to protect the finish. We can't let. I can't. We can't go out to dinner.
I love that Roman and Strowman are in like the heated blood feud, and they're like, "Oh, let's take a picture, buddy." At the Coliseum. That's not gonna go anywhere. Titus O'Neil.
Yeah.
It's only Titus taking the picture. It's fine.
Yeah. So it's like, and then you had like guys like Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon and Kevin Nash and a lot of people who are just like, I am a performer. This is a job. I am performing. I love the boys, and I want the boys to make money. But this shit is crazy. I can't go outside and see my friend, Scott Hall, because I'm supposed to be feuding with him.
Yeah, no, you're in a blood feud for the
double
IC title.
Yeah, I'm in a blood feud with him, so I can't go out to the bar and drink with him. That's fucking ridiculous.
Nah.
And
like only on Total Divas.
And that's like a real thing that people start complaining about. So it's like you had the steroids, you had that, you had people just.
It's tough for you to get into it.
Yeah, it's just like you had people basically starting to figure it out. People were starting to like be like, yeah.
Wait, aren't they? Don't they hate each other?
Yeah,
isn't that Sergeant Slaughter? and Iron Sheik? What's going on?
And the news, the sports news, they knew that wrestling was fake since like 1963. They stopped reporting wrestling results in like 1950 something or something like that.
Yeah.
When they stopped with boxing results and stuff like that, they stopped reporting it. They were like, oh yeah, this is clearly fucking staged.
I'll be honest. Let's just say wrestling was real. Okay,
sure.
In a hypothetical universe,
it was real once. It was definitely a real thing at one point.
Professional wrestling is like in an alternate universe. Professional wrestling is real. It's like just a dirtier, grittier fight, and you got to hold the guy down for 3 seconds.
Sure.
It could work. A sport, you could do it. Maybe you probably don't do as many closed fist slams, and like punches and kicks or whatever. But it could be like a UFC type of deal. Where you submit or pin the guy. Yeah, I could see it as a real fucking fight where your job is to hold the guy down for 3 seconds. He's struggling. Maybe you see a lot more schoolboys and small packages going on. Try to trip up a fucking tough guy.
People will watch. But like. People watch anything.
You're going to see some guys get fucked up. You're going to see a large turnaround. You're not going to see as many Dolph Zigglers, where a guy's wrestling for 18 years and you see he's not using them properly. He's just going to fucking die. That's it,
people forget that wrestling was real once. All right, for all of our talk about kayfabe, like wrestling was a legit sport.
When did it not be? In like the 40s?
I think in like
they were like, we want heroes. That's what it is. It's like people wanted to cheer for a guy, but there was too much of a revolving door of like the UFC.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like if you don't, if you look at what the UFC was 10 years ago, you could probably name all the players.
Sure.
But now it's like, oh, these guys got beat up and injured, and it's tough for them.
Yeah, your shelf life is very short.
Yeah, Chuck Liddell was like the shit. At one point. Fucking, what's that other guy's name who was fighting with Chuck Liddell a lot?
Tito Ortiz.
Yeah, where's he? Where's he now? Frank Mir,
Yeah.
Where's that guy?
Yeah. That's what it was. It was it was a legit sport.
No, but who's the other guy? There's one other guy who fought Chuck Liddell a lot.
Randy Couture.
Yeah, Couture.
Yeah.
You can name all those guys, but it's like the shelf life is like, bye.
It's gone. Yeah, you have usually in like UFC
in wrestling, you protect the opponent.
You can protect each other. Yeah,
you both protect each other,
and that took a time.
It makes more money for you in the end because it's like there is a Roman Reigns, there is a top guy. Oh, that's the top guy.
It took a while to get there. It was like professional wrestling has its roots in like circus performance.
Yep,
and and like actual grappling, and like it like there was a legit like wrestling championship of the world that ran until like 1920 something, and then like that's when it stopped being legit and they started being like, okay, it'd be really cool if we can get the guy we want to win to get the rubes coming back. Like they kind of did that in the circus and like in the carnival where like this stuff started, but then they were like, once they started getting popular, they're like, you know what, we got more people if because what they had like a Brock Lesnar situation where you had a guy who was super dominant and would just beat everyone for like 30 matches straight.
Yeah,
and that's boring because after a certain point, after like the 15 win, nobody wants to see this guy destroy like everyone that comes in. Like, all right, this guy's gonna kill him. Obviously, he's
when they get older eventually. Like, what's his name? The boxing guy that fought Big Show. I forget his name.
Butterbean?
No, Floyd Mayweather. I forgot about Floyd Mayweather's name.
Yeah.
I was like, that guy. You know, like, you kind of want to see him get his ass whipped.
Of course.
At this point.
Of course, but
it's his mouth that gets people
to
see him.
He created a cult of personality, though. He created a character.
Yeah.
He created a brand. He's like, I'm going to be abrasive as shit so people want to see me get knocked out.
Yeah, because if he just kept his mouth shut and kept winning all the time, he'd be like, whatever.
If he was like, Jesus.
But then it's like, I'm too sweet. It's like Muhammad Ali really created that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, absolutely.
He created that. Like, oh man, I'm winning a lot. I got to do something to get fans in the stands.
Yeah,
and I'm sure Joe Louis was in on it.
I know Joe Louis definitely wasn't in on it. Joe Louis went to his grave
hating Muhammad Ali.
Hating Muhammad Ali, or at least being still really mad at him. I mean,
Muhammad should have probably let him in on it. Like, look, man, I'm gonna we got to get people to come and watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk shit. Because Joe Louis definitely was like, I fought for you to get reinstated, and this is how you repay me. You called me Uncle Tom and like all this shit. He was like legitimately pissed off. And I don't blame him. I get it. Like, that's like, at that time, that was probably the worst thing you could call, like, as a black person, you could call another black person.
It's
just like, that's fucked up. Particularly when the guy like fought for you and like got you.
But this is also it's funny we're just talking about kayfabe. Yeah. I didn't think the steroid conversation would go in this direction, but I'm glad it did, because it also comes into the fact of like, well, what makes wrestling interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Because it is a predetermined sport. It's athleticism, but it's also kind of like, oh well, what do we watch for when there's no stakes on the line?
Mm-hmm.
Particularly, we come into this dilemma a lot about the Universal Championship, about how Brock Lesnar is just not there. He is the worst Universal Champion of all time. I completely don't understand why anybody would care or be interested in him. If he was there month to month, week to week, we could talk about something. We could be like, all right, well, who's going to beat Brock Lesnar? Who's going to be that guy to get him? But like, I honestly, as a fan, lose interest. I don't care. I hate saying that phrase. I don't like saying I don't care, but I am lost interest in his deal as the UFC champion, or the WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion or whatever.
Yeah.
But since that whole Paul Heyman deal, with Paul Heyman and him having a fucking out, it's created some stakes. It's created some interest. It's created some buzz.
Sure.
Roman Reigns getting a backbone now, having a confrontation with Baron Corbin, having actually a halfway decent match with Corbin. And then, that segment where he was like, hey man, how's your ribs? And then he's like, oh, I guess they're all right. And then he punches him right in the ribs. He's doing cheap shots.
Yeah.
He's getting more of a, like a grit as a character, which is
aggressive.
what fans want. Fans actually were cheering for Roman the other day when Lesnar was fucking beating the shit out of Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
You're making character developments. You're making changes. This is making wrestling interesting. It's worth actually doing a podcast and talking about now.
When you give your characters backbones, when they have spine, when they do things that you're like, man, I didn't think that the person was going to do that. I kind of am impressed that they were willing to do that. It makes you like them.
Yeah.
It makes you be like, all right.
I mean, I've been into Roman anyway, just because it's like, I don't want to really boo him anymore as a worker. I have no reason to boo him as a worker.
Yeah, it's kind of boring.
I would maybe boo him for his character. His character was a little boring at one point. His character's getting interesting now.
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the truth. It's kind of nice how this kind of organically flowed into my my subject matters that I wanted to talk to you about anyway. We went from steroid use to kayfabe to what makes wrestling interesting if it's not, if it's not a real sport.
Honestly, like, some of the things that they need to let Roman Reigns do is just like really destroy somebody. Like, just like not just like, oh, he comes out, spears him,
he wins,
and puts the hands up, like he's like so mad that he spears him, gets the chairs out, beats him, puts him through the table. Like,
Roman, what are you doing? What are you doing, Roman? And he's like, you gotta stop. You're gonna destroy the man. You're not gonna have an opponent left for SummerSlam.
Yeah, like really just like tear into somebody, because like no one expects him to do that. And then it's like, when you do what no one expects you to do, it becomes interesting. That's interesting. It's like, oh shit, I didn't expect him to do that. I expected him to come out, Superman punch, spear, and then like put his hands up.
Roman wins. LOL.
LOL. Yeah. But he was like, oh, Roman.
Roman's mad.
Roman didn't care about winning. Roman.
Period.
Yeah.
No LOL at the end.
No LOL. Just beast of shadow.
Wow. What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, we've got this fucking great genius of pro wrestling named Paul Heyman. We've got this guy who comes out, and he's been given probably a fucking dumbass segment to do.
Sure. By
Vince McMahon. He's like, look, do this segment. There's no reason for Paul Heyman to come in unshaven with his eyes red and watery and deliver the fucking interview of the century, because I don't think they ask that of him. No. I don't think there's any director back there who's going, Paul, just give your take. Paul's like, on a day, Paul can just fucking give his take without all that.
Yeah.
Without all that. He could probably deliver a great promo. Just, oh, man, I don't know what's going on with Lesnar. He could just spew all that shit really fast. But what do you get from him? What do you get this week? You get, well, what's the deal with you?
Storytelling.
What's the deal with you and Brock Lesnar?
Storytelling.
He says, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Storytelling.
I tried to call him. His phone's disconnected.
Storytelling.
Is Brock Lesnar your friend? In my view, yeah, he's my friend. Despite him getting put in a fucking hold where he's screaming, Brock, I can't breathe. Brock, I can't breathe. And you still come out there and kind of represent the man. Well, this is just going to piss Lesnar off even more that I'm doing this, that I'm talking about this openly and publicly. I mean, this is the kind of shit that they used to do during the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era, week to week. Maybe not on the level of Paul Heyman, because Paul Heyman is he's a real kind of actor. Mm-hmm. It's not just a pro wrestling promo anymore. He's giving it a personal spin. He's giving it the reason that they hired Nicholson, and he's giving it the reason they hired De Niro week to week. He's giving it that kind of spin.
He's telling a story.
Yeah. Point blank.
And that's something that they haven't been doing lately.
I mean, even going back to last year's SummerSlam, I was not nearly as interested in the card as I am probably this year. I mean, there's like these little subtle rivalries and things going on with like Becky Lynch and Charlotte, like,
tell a story.
It's going to be a different deal in 2 weeks,
That's what makes you special. Tell a story. What makes UFC special is that it's not boxing. It's the only place where you get to go see
two men really put a skill on fighting.
Yeah,
you get kicks, you get punches, you get holds.
You get holds. Like you look at boxing because you want to see boxing, right? What makes wrestling special? What makes wrestling special is storytelling. You're telling a story. Tell a fucking story. If you can tell a story in the ring, great. If you have to tell a story outside of the ring and in the ring, then do it. But tell the fucking story. It's that simple. Or else you're not special. There's nothing that makes you stand out at that point. Why would people watch you over UFC if you're just gonna be like boring storytelling? You're like, well, I can just go watch UFC and watch people actually fight.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's wrestling lost a lot of fans to UFC.
Yeah, and that's a common refrain. Why would I watch this when I can just go see someone actually fight? And it's like, okay, here's why. You can watch wrestling. You really should watch wrestling because there's actual story to it, And like some of the wrestling is really cool, and like it looks really good, and the story fits.
Yeah, you're not going to see this level of athleticism even on Walking Dead. You're going to have a stand-in.
Sure.
You're not going to see this on Sons of Anarchy or Breaking Bad or other top acclaimed shows, Game of Thrones. Yeah, you'll see some fight scenes. You'll see some heavily choreographed, heavily edited stuff, but you're not going to see that level of action on a dramatic show. But here's the problem. What we've been subjected to lately is they took away the one thing that kept us watching.
Yeah.
Was the story. You're just like, all right, well, everybody wants to see a fight, so let's have these two guys get in there and, coffee pot feud it up.
Yeah. It's
no stakes, no champion, no Lesnar. All right, well, I don't really care about that. SmackDown's pretty good. NXT's even better. I'll watch those things,
Yeah.
So this is the problem, that has been the problem. But I digress, because there is hope on the horizon. The reason we may be seeing such a beautiful level of storytelling and storylines and things. And look, I say this is beautiful. This is nothing compared to what we were getting in the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era. This is nothing, but I'll take it for now because it's keeping me interested. It's keeping me talking. It's keeping like a little bit of a buzz going on. Fine. But there's fear on the horizon. There's fear because as of this recording, tomorrow, ROH might officially sell out Madison Square Garden.
They probably will.
The first non-WWFE, whatever the fuck it is,
G1 Supercard.
Since 1920.
Selling that bitch out.
I mean, you know, the Garden could have gotten the WrestleMania pitch, but I don't think it holds enough seats anymore.
And it's competing against TakeOver the same day. It's going to be so interesting.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was the same day.
Yeah,
like I want to go to ROH to support ROH, so I'm probably gonna do it, because I have the network. Yes. You know, I could always go and watch it, and it's probably gonna be a lot less money to go to the Garden,
sure,
than to TakeOver or whatever. Sure, maybe I'm gonna miss something. I mean, TakeOver is gonna be at Barclays, right?
Yeah.
So, TakeOver Barclays, New York for Mania weekend. It's gonna be nuts. There's going to be a lot of crazy wrestling going on in town. We're probably going to see a lot of smaller events that are going to host people like, if Cody and the Young Bucks are still not WWE employed.
Yeah.
At that point, you're probably going to see a lot of Cody and the Young Bucks going around town to different various events before the G1 Supercard.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
You probably see Kenny Omega in town. Yeah, you're going to see Okada. You're going to see a lot of crazy shit you never would have thought you'd see in New York City. And that's why I say there's fear on the horizon. That's why we're getting better stories in WWE, because like you're competing against All In. You're competing against ROH. And it's not like it's just ROH, because just ROH, WWE can beat just ROH. Yeah. WWE can just beat TNA. WWE can just beat NJPW. But when they all combine together like the way they've been doing, that's hard. That's WCW.
That is hard.
That's like if ECW and WCW actually got together and formed the alliance to take on WWE.
We'll see.
In the Attitude Era.
I don't know if NJPW and ROH are really on the level of WCW and ECW at that point. Maybe ECW, but WCW definitely was an opponent. It was a well-established, wrestling.
I mean, they had the top guys. They were poaching fucking Hogan and Kevin Nash and Scott Hall.
Yeah, they were well-established. I think they're close. And I don't know about that.
Although Kevin Nash was probably the biggest acquisition aside from Hogan.
Sure.
Because he was WWF champion in the 90s.
Sure, absolutely.
Getting Scott Hall, an amazing worker, getting Hogan, I mean, like, that's crazy fucking shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be real, like...
WWE really, I don't know how they survived.
It's
tough.
They poached a lot at the start. I think the problem with WCW is they stopped poaching. They stopped being able to poach. And then, and then WWE started poaching their guys. So it's like
they took their low, because Vince McMahon at the time was the star maker. He was like, look, I'll take your little Jericho and I'll make him Big Jericho.
Yeah, pretty
much.
I'll
make him the fucking man, the Ayatollah of rock and rolla.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, just to reiterate on Jericho came in as a top guy, went down to like lower mid card for a while,
sure,
and then kind of proved himself back up to like, I am Chris Jericho, I should be on this card.
Sure. I mean, he understood that. Well, I mean, Jericho also understood that at a certain point, he was only going to have so much traction in WCW. They were never really going to take him seriously with Hogan there and Nash booking and all these people. So it's like he was like, I need to go to somewhere else where I might actually be appreciated.
Yeah. No, I mean, he came in strong, though, with like a feud with The Rock right away. I am somebody to fucking look out for.
Well, apparently he was supposed to come in with Eddie and
the Radicals?
With Benoit and Malenko. They were all supposed to go in together. And then I think they offered Eddie and Chris a new contract, and Chris and Eddie were like, all right, fine. I guess we'll just, and like, but at that point, Jericho had already signed to WWE, so he was just like the lone guy there.
Yeah.
Because he was like, they were all supposed to come in together. So he was supposed to come in with friends, and they were just like, oh, shit, sorry. And then they eventually ended up joining it later anyway. But like,
yeah, I mean, it was cool that they came in as a faction. Actually,
Yeah.
it was interesting. They didn't know what to do with them. They didn't know if they were going to make them the Four Horsemen or the Job Squad. No, and it felt like it was the latter. Unfortunately,
it started
the latter.
Yeah. I mean,
it was just like a little bunch of cruiserweights.
That's what they probably felt about them. They're like, oh, these small guys, they're not.
Yeah.
They're not big. And then,
And then we got what we got eventually.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see about that.
Right. So, like I said, there's fear in the horizon. They're coming up with better storylines. Where does this leave Lesnar? I'm hearing a lot of reports that now they're going to swerve us again with Lesnar. He's going to retain because they want him to go into UFC representing the WWE. As the Universal Champion. They want him to go to UFC as the Universal Champion. He's talking about working closer in a cross-brand promotion, doing that sort of deal. Here's the thing. I feel like this is like a veil that he kind of shows Vince McMahon his legs, and he's like, look at my legs, baby. Don't you want this? And Vince McMahon's like, yeah, I want that. Yeah, I do. And then he just does nothing close to what he says he's going to do. Like, yeah, I'm going to cross-promote. He'll probably go on air and say, WWE's a piece of shit. I make money with them. You know what I mean? Like, I could see him fucking doing that.
Yeah.
And then Vince McMahon's crazy, and he'll be like, no, that's great. I wanted him to say that.
I need money. Whatever. I don't know. I hope.
Is Brock Lesnar actually doing anything for the WWE's draw? I really don't think it is.
At this point, I don't. But, if maybe they see numbers that we don't, I don't know.
Yeah, like on nights that Brock Lesnar's on the card, we sell out. On nights that he's not. I mean, they haven't sold out the Garden in years, right? That's the report
at this point,
I'm getting is WWE, even with Lesnar on the card, has not sold out the Garden.
At this point, yeah.
Okay? ROH, with none of the fucking WWE guys on the fucking card. Maybe like Rey Mysterio will be there or something like that if he doesn't sign. Whatever. G1 Supercard. They're going to sell out the fucking Garden.
Probably, yeah.
There is a fucking very good chance that as of this recording, tomorrow morning, we will be looking at a sold-out Madison Square Garden non-WWE wrestling show.
Yeah.
That's the world we're living in, which means there's blood in the water. Vince McMahon is a fucking afraid. Cody Rhodes, Young Bucks, they should not fucking sign to WWE if that ever comes on the line.
They're gonna offer a lot of money.
Cody Rhodes can make it on his own.
It's gonna be a lot. I'm talking like a lot.
What are we talking here though? Like we're talking Attitude Era paychecks for these guys?
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of cash. They're gonna get real aggressive now. I mean, that's
and
what the reports are.
But what is that? How does that work out for your creativity? Do you have creative control over what happens to your character? Because they did not sign Matt Hardy with fucking creative control. I can damn well sure tell you that. Look at the fucking storylines. Jeremy Borash is supposedly there bumbling around in the background, but it's doing nothing for the fucking Hardy gimmick. It's not doing anything for the broken Hardy gimmick. So, throw me all the money in the world. It's just a fucking, all right. It's more like for Cody. Do you want to work for your money, or do you want to just get handed your money and you'll be Stardust again?
That's a good question, yeah.
Because you could be a $20 million Stardust. I'll be a fucking $20 million Stardust, but I won't be happy.
Yeah.
So that's really where it fucking ends up. And I think him being out of the fucking WWE is better for the business overall because he actually tries.
He does.
You know what I mean? He wants to, look at all the fans that he's flying people out who are saying, they're having financial problems. They bought their ticket. They're really happy. They're not asking him for anything. Don't get me wrong. They're just tweeting to him look, man, have a great show, man. God bless you. I want you to do well. I bought the ticket. I'm not going to be there, but I want you to, and there was a guy with cancer. That's the latest thing that Cody Rhodes has done.
Yeah.
Has, I don't know what he worked out with the guy who had cancer, but, he just was like, look, man, I'm going in for my, 12th round of chemo. I'm not going to be able to be there, obviously, for health reasons.
Yeah.
But I'm just congratulating you on your sellout with All In, man. Thank you for what you're doing for the business. I mean, that kind of shit. You don't get that kind of shit in WWE.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's nice to do the Make-A-Wish stuff. I mean, hopefully some of these indie guys will get, on the Make-A-Wish. Like, they'll be able to help kids if they want, whatever the deal is. But the fact is, Cody cares about the fans.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, basically, like, hey, look, man, I'll fucking fly you out. I'll help you out. I'll help you get on the plane. How much you got? Let's go. I want you to be there. Like, that's crazy to me.
That is pretty nuts.
Because, some people could argue, look, it's one extra fan in the stand. It's a good publicity stunt. I don't think it's that. I really don't. I think he fucking cares. And I think he fucking cares. That's why he's left. He left he left being Stardust, probably making millions.
Yeah. I think
he's fucking Dusty Rhodes' son.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
We'll see. I don't know. They're going to toss a lot of money at him. They're going to be very aggressive.
I mean, short of like fucking 50 million or something outlandish and crazy.
I mean,
I can't see the man sign. He sold out a building on his own. He can continually sell out buildings. You're building up ROH. You're building up NJPW. You're building up TNA. The business is actually growing now.
That's true.
You lose a fucking Cody Rhodes, and like it kind of makes me wonder, like what they must be tossing a lot of money at them because they got Ricochet, they got Keith Lee, they got a lot of indie heroes now. Yeah, they're not letting people stay on the fucking indies anymore. There's no classic WWE guy anymore. No, there's a classic. Vince McMahon is attracted to your legs, Brock Lesnar, fucking Dave Bautista guy. Sure. You know what I mean? And I respect Dave Bautista. I'm not trying to put him down at all. He's a fucking man of principle, too.
Vince has a type. Everyone gets it. Yeah.
Yeah. Vince has a type. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. Like, through injuries and through circumstances, you could see a Seth Rollins as champion. Sure. You can see an AJ Styles. You can see a fucking Jinder Mahal as champion.
Absolutely.
Like, look, I'm not a Jinder fan as far as like his character. I like him as a person because of my interaction with him. He's a nice guy. Look, his character was lacking. I'll be honest, but as a fucking person, he's great. Anyway, neither here nor there. But there is blood in the water, you're telling me they're gonna throw a lot?
That's what they're saying. That's what the report's saying. They're gonna be really aggressive. They want to start snatching up indie talent.
They should. They're smart.
We'll see.
They're smart to try, but there's always more where that came from, man.
I'm going to be interested. We'll see when Daniel Bryan's contract comes up. We'll see what happens. Because it's coming up in September.
Yeah. That means we could see a surprise Daniel Bryan at All In.
Like the day before All In, I do believe.
I think he should just fucking not sign, go to All In.
Just explode the stadium. Win the ROH title.
Destroy wrestling, basically. Like, shut it down. Shut the shit down. Shut fucking Puerto Rico down Mark Anthony style with Daniel Bryan.
Just beat Jay Lethal and get the ROH title. And
fuck me. And then fucking, maybe resign with WWE or something like that?
No, that would be crazy.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, get some buzz talking.
If he gets the ROH title, he should just show up the G1 Supercard and really fuck them over. That's what he really should do. You should just show up the G1 Super. You should just stay indie and just show up at the Wrestle Kingdom and G1 Supercard.
Yeah, I think at this point I'm gonna try to be part of that G1 Supercard crowd. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that.
Like if Daniel Bryan does not sign by WWE, that's what he should do.
I don't think he should, man. Yeah. What are they offering him at this point?
Lots of money. Miz? Lots of money. Security for his wife and kid.
He's got it all already, man. It's like CM Punk. Can we just be real for a second? CM Punk has enough money that he does not have the need to or want to wrestle again. He's comfortable with his life. Okay?
Well, he's getting sued by Colt Cabana, so
he's getting sued by Colt Cabana?
Yeah, he is. Ooh. He's currently getting sued by Colt Cabana.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Why? Why is that happening? I don't even know. I didn't even know about that story.
I saw the headline. I didn't actually get to sit down and read it, but I do know he's being sued.
Ooh, yeah. That's sad. That's his best friend, man.
Well, they were best friends.
Well, what happened? I mean, what's the beef? Do you know anything about it?
I mean, I know he got mad. He got mad at Colt Cabana for trying to get out of the case against Mark Heyman.
Yeah.
and for kind of like I think for like working with
because he doesn't have the fucking funds for that case,
and working with WWE in a limited capacity. Yeah.
When did that happen?
I think it happened sometime. Like he felt sold out. I think it was a big thing. He just kind of
CM Punk felt sold out, so he just disconnected with Cabana.
Yeah,
I feel like he gets butthurt really easily from things I read. Like even fucking Corey Graves got upset with him and his attitude.
Yeah.
You know, he was like tweeting like, "Yo, in the Punk lifestyle, you know, just fucking disconnect, man. You might even fight it out, but you don't just disconnect like that."
Yeah,
you know, whatever. Fine, he's not Punk anymore. Whatever. Yeah. That's his moniker, you know.
Yeah.
Look, dude's fucking old, man. He could choose who he wants to fucking associate with.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't. If he's not fucking into wrestling anymore, you don't have to be.
Yeah.
That's it. You know.
It's fine.
I just think he should show up at All In because that would fucking explode the indie scene again.
That would make it. That would just.
They would just help out his friends.
Yeah, it would tear the house.
You know. But they said, "Are you all in?" At the court case, he said, "No, I'm not all in."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Fuck that.
I mean, Cole Cabana is going to be there, so that's probably not a good sign.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. You know, but it could help him. You know, not be sued by Cole Cabana.
We'll see.
It could help their case.
We'll see.
You know. Anyway, forget that. Daniel Bryan, on the other hand, I don't know, man. I would like to see him out of the WWE. I think wrestling is much more interesting outside of the WWE at this point.
This point, yes, absolutely.
You know, overall, like if we're gonna talk about like real bell to bell fucking action, talk about, you know, compelling story. There's not much more compelling than what's going on with the Bullet Club and the Elite and the Golden Lovers.
Sure.
You know, like it's got this built-in story that like it barely tried to promote.
Sure.
Naito's fucking super interesting. Kazuchika Okada is fucking interesting.
So many.
With his character change.
Juice Robinson is fantastic right now.
I mean,
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Tama Tonga is great right now. There's a lot of things happening.
Now, what we do have, though, going on this week is we have the debut of Keith Lee, which I didn't expect. I thought maybe he would debut at TakeOver at the Barclays. I don't know why they chose to wait on that.
Whatever.
It could have been fine. You know, they could have done a dark match at TakeOver with him. Fine. We got him on there. We also see Cain Velasquez on this week's NXT, which is like, whoa.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
You had some thoughts on Cain.
Well, so the report is that he's just at the Performance Center to push the price up.
Sure. Push the price up, but I feel like WWE will throw even more money at him.
We'll see.
It goes into my next point. Ronda Rousey fucking main evented Raw this week.
She did.
And you know what? It was fucking great.
It was great. It was like a 4-minute match, 5-minute match.
Whatever the time limit is. I liked the whole look of the match.
It was.
You know, sure. We knew when Alicia Fox was getting in that match, it was going to be a fucking squash.
It was going to be a squash,
yeah, sure. We knew that. But she's also a veteran of the ring.
Sure, yeah.
Alicia Fox, she's very underrated as far as what she can do.
Yes.
She comes from that fucking diva era and still is around kicking,
yeah,
ready to fucking work, ready to work hard.
She's a good worker.
You know? And if there's anybody who's deserving of a fucking main event spot, look, it's Alicia fucking Fox.
I mean, she's been around forever.
Yeah.
Yes,
but let's just be real. Ronda Rousey's putting the fucking butts in the seats. I really think that she is actually being a draw right now.
She is. She's a fantastic draw right now.
And the fact that you get to see her week to week.
I mean, she's in the Performance Center every week. I have no complaints about Ronda Rousey.
But that's what I'm saying is like, I think, look, Lesnar's not going to draw because he's not there often enough.
Sure.
You know?
You think Cain Velasquez is the answer?
I think Cain Velasquez will draw. Honestly.
I'm sure he will. I mean, I just don't know if he's serious about joining the Fed. Like I said.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why they put him on TakeOver. Because, like, if they signed him, I feel like he would have been there at TakeOver Barclays.
Yeah,
He'd be like, oh, we signed Cain.
Yeah,
he's our newest signee, like EC3.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't have a contract yet. That's what I said. So
Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah. So, like, he has no contract yet. He's just showed up. The word on the street is that he's just at the Fed, testing it out. Really using it to push up his next UFC contract. And, like, if he is, then fucking more power to him, you know? Make that money, bro.
Make that money. And, Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle is definitely coming.
Matt Riddle. There's a lot going on with Matt Riddle right now.
He's coming to the Fed.
And, yeah, no, he's in. But the big deal is there is talk right now of inserting him in the right now accordingly vacant Aleister Black slot.
Well, they just announced that it's going to be Ciampa Gargano, no last man standing at TakeOver. So I don't think...
they changed the main event. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I guess not.
There you go. You hear it first. I mean, but there was probably a blurb at some point.
He can still show up and possibly like end up putting like Gargano out or something like that so Ciampa wins.
I think Ciampa's going to hold it until probably Mania weekend.
That's what I think too.
Because right now their feud is the hottest thing in WWE.
Yeah.
Their feud is it. That's it.
I agree.
And they're doing it the right way.
They're taking their time. Slower.
Vince McMahon sticking his fingers in it would just, they'll be doing it on fucking 205 Live.
It would have been over in a week.
Yeah.
And it would have been like, oh, that's great.
It's like the Miz Daniel Bryan feud. Nobody gives a shit anymore.
Yeah,
I don't care. I don't fucking care about it. I don't know how they could mess that up.
It's the best angle. I don't understand how they screwed it up. I'm kind of like over
they screw up a lot of the things with the Miz, like even the fucking Sandow thing. I'll never let that Sandow thing go because that was like probably the hottest feud in the WWE in like 2014, other than like the Rusev push.
Yeah,
and I'll never let that go because I'm like, what are you doing? I mean that feud probably sparked this podcast because like I just needed to tell somebody about it and like I have nobody to fucking really tell all the time,
Yeah.
And I can only tell you personally so many times.
They buried him.
Yeah, I know. They fucked it up, man. All right, well I guess Matt Riddle is not taking Aleister Black's place. That would have been fucking crazy though.
That would have been nuts.
Because, he would have established himself as the main event player right away. But we are getting some great Blackheart tweets. Some fucking Ciampa Blackheart tweets.
Ciampa's fantastic.
I mean, yeah, he's fucking... he pisses you off, honestly.
He knows how to fucking work. He
knows
how to fuck with your head. She's a genius.
He's great. And with that, I think that is the week in wrestling pretty much. Has there been any matches added to the NXT Takeover card?
Balor Corbin.
Okay, and the SummerSlam card. Yeah, I guess Balor Corbin. What does that do for anybody?
Gives Balor an excuse to come out and face paint.
Yeah,
probably. I guess. I mean, like he hasn't been demon this year so far, so he's gonna have to go demon at some point, unless they're planning to like have him win the Rumble and go demon as at the Rumble, which would be insane.
Right. All right. Well. Oh God, I hope he comes out as a demon. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the Smark Tank. I hope you all have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. You can reach us at our Facebook page at facebook.com/ILikeSmarks. You can reach us at wearesmarks@gmail.com. You can tweet to us at ILikeSmarks. I just also want to give a quick shout-out to the Council of Commentary and the Nation of African American Wrestling. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, have a great week. See you next week.
Later, guys.